Halpern. Do you remember him? Stephen Halpern, one of the originators of New Age music. Okay, so come have a seat. Welcome everybody, welcome to class and welcome to practice. So as we work in our asanas, we think of our asanas as physical shapes, which they definitely are, but they're also breath shapes. So it's important, especially as you start to move forward in your practice and you become, more comfortable in your poses. At the very beginning, the only thing you don't want to do is hold your breath. That's what Guruji said whenever people would ask him, what do I do with my breath? He said, just don't hold your breath, right? So that's what we do at the beginning. But later on, you can start to become more aware of your breath and what your breath is doing in different shapes. And of course, the breath really only goes into the lungs, right? But as yogis, we think of the energy of the breath, and the energy of the breath is called prana. So even though the breath only goes, into the lungs, you can still move the energy where you need to move it, where your energy is restricted. So that's what you want to do when you feel some tightness in that area. So switch the cross of your legs, and let's work with our breath as well as our bodies today. So the breath body as well as the physical body. Take off any glasses. Come more towards the front of your sitting bones. And bring your hands onto your thighs. And then move your thighs down away from your hands. Descend the thighs. And just that act alone starts to bring your mind more from fight and flight, which we're in a lot of the time, right, into more of a rest and digest state of mind. So the thighs come down, be balanced evenly on the two sitting bones. And then keep that descension of your thighs, cup shape your fingertips, and press your hands down and lift up the sides of your trunk. And you have to lift your back ribs up, as you can't just lift the front ribs, right? The back ribs and the side ribs have to lift evenly, like a cylinder. And then bring your outer shoulders back and move your shoulder blades into your back body. Keep your head right over your shoulders. That's it. And then bring your hands to your heart center. Connect the backs of your thumbs to the breastbone and lift the breastbone upwards. And then close your eyes. Close your eyes. And then if you could just wait out there on the bench, just wait out there. And then after we Om, you can come on in. So keep your breastbone lifting upwards and connect your body and your mind to your breathing. Let go of your day's events. Come to your practice, come to your breath, come to this golden, always fresh, open, clear, present moment. As you inhale, bring some energy up the center of your spine into your chest. And as you exhale, let go of that mental energy. So you get centered in your heart space, get resolved there. And let's do 3 Oms together. Now lift your chest upwards and bow your head downwards. Release your hands down to your thighs with your palms up. Raise your head and then slowly open your eyes. So the way that I've been thinking about the 3 Oms lately is the first Om is for myself. The second Om is for everyone in my life, including all of you. And the third Om is for the world. And doesn't the world need a good Om, right? The world just needs such a nice Om. So that third Om is for our world. So stretch out your legs. You can come on in now. Valerie, I think it is, right? Okay, good. So come on in, Valerie. You can take any of these prop stations. Okay, so have a bolster. And we're going to just start today. We're not going to do all restorative poses today, but we are going to start in a restorative pose. So have the bolster spine length. You can have a blanket for your head. And then another couple of rolled blankets. Outside your legs. So you can just make the blankets into rolls. And if you don't have blankets, you can use towels, and you can even use blocks. But sometimes the blocks are a little bit too high, especially if you're a little bit more open in the hips. Okay, so you just sit about a fist distance in front of the bolster. Remember, if you have a thicker bolster, you're going to be further away from the bolster. If your bolster is thinner or flatter, you can be closer. And then bring your feet together in Baddha Konasana. Have these blanket rolls outside your shins and knees. Lengthen the buttocks flesh and then start to go back and place this blanket under your head and your neck. Have your palms upwards. And if, like me, you wear glasses, just take them off. And then bring your feet as close to your pelvis as, feels okay for your body, making sure that your heels are still together. So Supta Baddha Konasana. Make sure the back of your neck feels long and your face is slightly slanted downwards, right? So you like the facial skin kind of surrenders to the heart center. And if you're a little bit more, if you're tighter in the hips, in the inner thighs especially, have the blankets closer to your outer thighs and your shin bones. If you're a little bit more open, have them further out, maybe even just under the knees. And then as you press your heels into each other, allow the inner thighs to release outwards. Make sure that your lower back is long. Remember, if you have a thicker bolster, your pelvis is a little bit further away from the support. Thinner bolster, you can be a little bit closer. And let your abdomen soften. And allow your internal organs to move towards the back of the body. Have your palms upwards and bring the thumb sides of your wrist closer to the floor and connect your shoulder blades into your back. Keep softening the back, upper neck muscles and let your head be supported by that blanket or pillow. And just notice your breath. Just notice how your breath moves in this pose, where it goes. So make each posture today not just a physical shape, but also a breath posture. And now raise your arms up alongside your ears with your palms facing each other and extend the sides of your trunk to your fingertips. And then hold your elbows around your head. If that for some reason doesn't feel good to your shoulder, just bring your arms back to the first position. And if your blanket is in the way, you can either change the position of your blanket or you can take the blanket out of the way. And then hold your elbows and pull back. And as you do that, make sure that your eyes don't roll back into the head. Keep your eyes releasing back towards the brain and relax your jaw down, relax your tongue down. And just notice now how your breath changes, doesn't it? When your arms are out sideways and your arms are up over your head, the breath changes. And then switch the cross of your forearms. See if you can soften the inner groins anymore. See if you can soften the belly anymore. As you move the forearms down towards the bolster or the floor, see if you can lift your shoulder blades into the back. But now once again, straighten your arms, inhaling, and then exhale, bring your arms back to that first position with your palms upwards. Bring your arms alongside the body, palms up. See if you've been operating in fight and flight. That's been like your home, and you're just filled constantly with adrenaline. So now see if you can shift a little bit. Now stretch out your legs and just press the fronts of your thighs into the backs of the thighs. Okay, and then bend your knees and roll to your side. And we're going to do Supta Padangusthasana series of poses. So you can keep the blanket for your head. You might want to lower it. Lower the blanket. And then if you need some support, in fact, I want everyone to take support outside the right hip today. So just be on your back and have this bolster right outside the right hip. Make sure the top of the bolster is way below the arm, and then belt your right foot. And for today, just have the belt on the arch of the foot, not the ball mound, not the heel, but the arch of the foot. So you're working just with the center of the leg, and then see if you can stretch out your left leg. So Supta Padangusthasana 1. Make sure that your head isn't falling backwards. The bolster should be really close to your outer right hip, and the top of the bolster is way below your right arm and right shoulder. So reach out through that left leg, and at first just lean the right leg a little bit forward to get the back of that left leg down, and then maintain that, and then see if you can bring your right leg right above the hip to 90 degrees. And then move the fronts of your thighs into the backs of the thighs. So remember how the first thing we did was bring the hands onto the thighs, and I asked you to bring the thighs down away from the hands. So now you have to move your thighs. Think of moving your thighs away from the surface of the leg. It's a very powerful action. The thighs are trained to push us forward for survival, right? So see if you can move the femur bones back, and then maintain that, and see if you can pull your right foot closer towards you. Pull the right foot closer to you. Valerie, that's really good. Just take the loop out so you don't have to deal with that loop. Good. Pull the right leg in, bend your elbows out to the sides. Keep the left leg pressing down. Good. Now hold on to the belt with the right hand. Inhale, and then exhale, take that right leg out to the side onto your support, making sure that your left back waist is not coming up. That left back waist is down on the floor, on the sticky mat. And make sure that your right foot is in a straight line with your right hip, maybe a little bit higher up. Yes. And for today, just bring your right elbow down to the floor in line with your right shoulder. And then move your left leg more to the left edge of your mat. Keep your outer left thigh rolling down. Keep your left waist down. Push into that belt with your right foot and extend that inner right leg. Soften that inner right groin and allow your outer right leg to receive the support of the bolster. See that you're even on both sides of the trunk. Stretch your left arm out to the side in line with your left shoulder, with your left palm upwards, and lift your shoulder blades into the back. And notice your breath in this pose. Where is your breath going? Does your breath get stuck anywhere? Does the energy get stuck anywhere? Soften where you can soften and stay firm where you need to stay firm. Good. Now bring both of your legs back to the midline. Hold the belt with your left hand. Inhale, and then take that right leg over to the left. Just a little bit. Keep your left toes upwards, left inner thigh moving down, and keep directing your back right waist towards the floor. Even though it's starting to come up, keep it moving towards the floor. See if you can pull your right foot up any more towards your left shoulder and roll your outer right hip down away from your right shoulder. Keep your neck straight. Notice your breath in this pose. And then if you feel okay, you can come a little bit further over. We're not going into a full twist today, but you can come a little bit further over. Nice. Keeping your left toes up. So your left leg is kind of like the brake. And then come back to the center. And release that right leg. Just notice that difference on that right side. Yes. Now move your bolster to the left. Right near your left hip. If you're on a slippery floor, have the bolster on some sticky mat. And have the top of the bolster below your left arm and belt your left foot. Just have the belt on the arch of the foot for today. So press that right leg down. You can lean the left leg a little bit forward at first to get the back of the right thigh down, and maintain the back of that right thigh down, and then see if you can bring your left foot right above the hip. And then see if you can very consciously move the fronts of your thighs away from the surface. So the front of the thigh is going into the back of the thigh. Move the thighs back. And then see if it's possible to pull that left foot any closer without bending that right leg up, without bending the left leg down. That's it. Keep moving the thighs back, away from the surface. Notice your breath. Now hold the belt with your left hand. Inhale. As you exhale, take your left leg out to the side so that your outer left hip is supported by that bolster, and bring your left elbow down to the floor in line with your left shoulder just for today. Make sure that your left foot is in a straight line with your left hip, maybe even a little bit higher up, but doesn't have to be dramatic. Keep your right back waist down. So that back right waist is down. As you push into the belt with that left inner foot, see that the outer edge of your left foot is parallel to the floor. So your left heel is not getting higher than your left toes. You have to move that left sitting bone towards the floor if the heel is higher. And then be even on both sides of the trunk. And you can use your left elbow on the floor to lift your left shoulder blade up, and then move your right leg more to the right. Move your right leg more to the right. And see if you can find any softness on that inner left groin. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Notice your breath in this pose. Supta Padangustasana to the side. Parsva. Good. Now bring both of your legs back to the midline, and then hold on to the belt with your right hand. Inhale, and then exhale. Take that left leg over to the right, just a little bit at first, and keep moving your left back waist back towards the floor. Keep your right toes upwards, your right inner knee, the inner knee that goes down, inner right thigh moves down. See if it's possible to pull that left foot any further up towards your right shoulder, and move your outer left hip down away from the left shoulder. And then lift your chest upwards. And keep breathing into your back left waist. And just notice your breath. Keeping that right toes upwards, right inner knee, right inner thigh moving down. See if you can come a little bit further over. Keeping that left back waist down. These are good here in the room with me. Good, and then come back to the center and release. And just stretch out that left leg, observe that difference. And you can, if you're sensitive to it, you'll feel that the prana, the energy, is flowing now more than it was before you did those postures. Okay, so now roll to the side, and we're going to do another one. I'm just going to turn my mat at an angle, just for those at home, but you guys here in the room don't have to turn it at an angle. Okay, so I have my bolster going sideways, and it's way up towards the head side of my mat. And then I have a tall block behind the bolster. And depending on your bolster, I'm going to put a folded blanket here on top of the bolster in the shape of the bolster. And then another blanket, just a regular folded blanket on top of the block. So it's kind of like a stairway. Okay, so that's going to be the setup. So again, I have a bolster. I have a rectangular blanket on top of the bolster. I have a tall block, and I have another blanket on top. So we're going to do a pose, and some of you might need to go higher with these props, you know, especially with the head side, you might have to build it higher with more blankets, okay? So watch. So I just come onto my back. So I want my back ribs against that bolster. So it's just kind of like a lounge chair at the beach, right? So this is like you're just gonna take some sun, not too much, but just get a little bit of sun. Okay, so now watch what I do. From here, I hold on to this right inner knee, and I just cross this leg over. And I'm just using my hand gently without aggression to move this knee away. Okay, and then I'm going to interlace my fingers here and pull this leg closer in. Some of you will even come here. So that's the first, but see how this knee wants to come in? I have to keep moving that knee back. Okay, so we're going to do that one time on each side. And then on the second time, some of you will go to the next stage. Watch what I do. I hold on, this knee moves this way, and then I bring this elbow into this heel, and I stretch out this leg. So that's the beginning of Supta Padangusthasana, bent leg, and I'm trying to move this knee back. I'll show on the other side as well. So I hook this heel right into the elbow crease, but I want to keep the same angle of my leg. I don't want my foot to drop. And then you lean your head back and you go here. Okay, so this is where if you find that your head is rolling back, you're going to have to go higher with your support. Okay, and you don't have to do this one. You can stay with this one. Okay, so let's try it. So get your support, lie back down. That's it, have your knees bent. Make sure that your head isn't already falling back. If it is, you have to build some more height under your head. Now, cross your right ankle over your left thigh and pause. Make sure that your left hip didn't shift out to the side. That's it, good. Now, once you have that, raise your left thigh up and interlace your fingers on the back of the left thigh. And some of you can even reach to the front of the left shin. You have to see, as long as there's no knee sensitivity. Good, now draw back your right toes and keep moving your right knee away from the right shoulder. That right knee has to go away from the right shoulder. That's it, yes, good. Keep your lower back down, the sacrum is on the floor. Draw the sides of the abdomen down. Notice your breath in this pose. Yeah, so you can just, that's fine, David, that's it. If it's too much to lift up the leg, you can just keep the left foot down and you can just use your right hand on that right inner thigh. Very good, now let's switch and let's do the other side. So bring your feet flat, cross your left ankle over the right thigh. Use your left hand to lengthen that left knee back away from the left shoulder. And then maintain that movement of the left knee as you lift up your right thigh and interlace your fingers on the back of the right thigh or the front of the right shin bone. Draw the left toes back. Make sure that your right hip isn't shifting out to the side. And then move your left knee away from your left shoulder. That left knee moves away from your left shoulder. Exhale your breath and just notice your breath in this pose. Okay, good. So let's try that second stage. Okay, some of you can repeat the first stage or whatever stage of the first stage you did. Okay, so cross your right ankle. Actually, just lift up your right leg. Just lift up, don't cross it over. That's it. Now bring your right fingertips into the right inner knee. Right inner knee, that's it. The right inner knee. Yes, that's it. From the inside, Valerie, bring your, like she's doing there. That's it, yes, good. And now bring your right foot upwards and put your right heel into your left elbow crease. Put your right heel into that elbow crease. So this is where the test comes. So this elbow, this heel comes into the elbow crease. That's it. And then you're using your arm, your left arm, to lift up that foot. So don't let your foot go down. Lean back and keep moving the right knee away from the right shoulder, and then stretch out your left leg. Stretch out that left leg. Make sure that your right foot isn't getting sickled. Don't let your right foot get sickled. So bring the elbow right under, like that. That's it, and lift it up. Yes, and then move this right knee away from the right shoulder. You can use your right hand to help you, and then stretch out that left leg. That's it. And then lean back. So Mr. Iyengar says that the leg that's coming across should feel like a blanket. That's it. Should feel like a blanket coming up. Lift your right leg higher, Geraldine, right shin bone higher, and then you relax back into the pillow under your head. Very good. And now release. Great. Because, you know, eventually you do this and your arm is behind your head, right? You have that Gomukhasana. We're not going to do that today, but that's, and so you think of your arm as a pillow and the leg as a blanket. But that might take a few years to get there, right? To get to that level of relaxation. So last time, second side. So bend your knees and then cross your left ankle over your right thigh. And then some of you, again, are just repeating any of those stages that we did. And you have to kind of work. Otherwise, you lift up your left leg and you bring your left heel, hold on to that left inner knee, bring your left heel into that right elbow crease. And then use your left hand to push this knee away and then stretch out your right leg and lean back. And you're lifting, you're using your arm. Yeah, so you're lifting up. So lift up. Use that, that's it. Make sure that your ankle isn't sickled there, Alessandro. Yeah, reach through the inner edge of the foot. Yeah, don't sickle the ankle. Lean back, that's it. Doesn't that feel nice, Tammy? I hope it feels nice. Does it feel okay? Good. Keep moving that left knee back, away from the left shoulder. Lean back, draw the abdomen back, move the left knee back. That's it. Exhale your breath. Lift your left foot up towards your right ear. Because eventually, like I said, well, you know, eventually that leg comes behind your head, but we'll wait till next week for that, right? Yeah, that's it. And now go ahead and release. Super good. Okay, so just stretch out your legs. Nice. Now move your props to the side and let's take downward facing dog pose. So move your props to the side. You guys can have your hands towards the orange wall side of the room. So do downward facing dog pose. And it might feel really nice after, you know, that bent leg pose. So straighten your legs, straighten your arms, spread your fingers and spread your toes. Spread the skin of your palm, circumference, just really wide, a wider palm, and get longer on the bottoms of your feet and wider on the bottoms of your feet. Suck the elbows in, suck the kneecaps up, take a deeper inhalation, and now move your thighs back. Again, have that feeling of what does it feel like to bring the thigh bones away from the surface of the legs, keeping the kneecaps lifting into the back of the legs. And then take a deeper inhalation. As you exhale, pull your hips back, pull your hips back. And then reach from your shoulder blades back into your hands and lengthen the sides of your torso. Notice your breath in this pose. The inhalations, the exhalations. David, that's excellent. Really good pose today. Okay, now walk your feet forward for Uttanasana. Have your feet at least as wide as your hips. Have your hands out to the sides, fingertips or blocks, or go to a wall. That's it. And put your hands on the wall at the level of the shoulders. Bend your elbows out to the sides. Make sure the outer edges of your feet are parallel. Keep that lengthening of the bottoms of the feet from the arches to the tips of your toes and from the arches to the backs of the heels. Widen your heels like you were widening your palms. Widen your heels and spread from the big toe mound to the little toe mound. Draw your kneecaps up. Keep moving the very top of the thighs away from the surface of your legs. And then just cascade the sides of your trunk down, your back down, your chest down. Release your head down. Good. Now bring your hands onto the hips, reach the chest forwards, and up you come. Great. Now move the short edge of your mat to your wall. We'll do some supported standing poses today. So you guys can either all be at the back wall or one of you can come to the side wall. I'll leave it to you. Okay, so you have the long edge of your mat at the wall. That's it. And you have your chair on the right-hand side. And it's the back of the chair that's, as you face the wall, the back of the chair will face your outer right hip. So that's the setup at the beginning. Okay, so you need the long edge of your mat against the wall, long edge. Okay, so once you have that set up, and even if you haven't gotten it completely set up, come and watch. So I just start with my left foot near the left edge of the mat. I take my right leg out, feet under the hands. I keep this left hand on the wall at all times, and it's cup shaped, like we did at the very beginning. I turn my feet and I just bring my hand onto this chair. So if you can do this in front of your kitchen sink and it feels so good. Okay, you just have your hands on the sink. So try it sometime. So you're straightening the legs. This leg is drawing in, getting nice and long here. This hand is helping you turn. So, and just take the support of the wall and see if it doesn't help you calm your mind, okay? And then this arm comes up and we come up and we'll do the other side. Okay, so let's try that. So start with your body on the left-hand side of your mat. Start on the left-hand side. So your chair will need to be on the right-hand side. That's it. Have your body all the way. Start with your left foot at the left edge of your mat. Yes, that's it. And then take your right leg out and the chair is to the right. There you go. And then keep your left fingertips on the wall. And then turn your feet to the right, left foot in slightly, right leg out. Keep your left hand onto the wall. Reach your right hand to the back of the chair and then start to reach it all the way out. So press your heels down. See if you can take a longer distance, Valerie, between your legs. Press your heels down and pull your legs up. Think of your right thigh bone like a drawer just coming into the dresser. Keep your left thigh back away from the wall. Nice. Don't let your head rest on your right arm. Make sure that your right knee is tracking. Can you draw that right thigh bone any deeper in, pressing that right big toe mound down? Now use your left hand on the wall to move your left shoulder back and to move that left back waist back away from the wall. The left back waist goes away from the wall. These are excellent. See if you can move your right thigh down away from the surface. Can you move your left thigh back away from the surface? Now lift up your left arm and come up out of the pose. Excellent. Very good. Turn your toes forwards and then move your chair to the left and your body to the right. So your right foot starts at the right side of your mat. You're about a forearm's distance away from the wall. So not too close, not too far. Take your legs wide apart. So when you end up, your feet will be under your hands when you raise your arms shoulder height. And then keep your right fingertips on the wall. Turn your feet to the left. Bring your left hand onto the chair and go. Yes. So press your heels down. Pull your kneecaps upwards. And draw your legs deeper and deeper into the hip. You can have your hand here. Yes, there you go, good. Get longer and longer on that left side. Press that left big toe mound down. And with your right fingertips on the wall, gently push into the wall and roll your right shoulder back, move your head back, and bring your right back waist away from the wall. Yes. Now see if you can move your left thigh down towards the floor, the front of the left thigh into the back of that left thigh, and move your right thigh back. Yes, use your breath. Keep getting longer and longer on that left side. Good, now lift up your right arm and come up out of the pose. You got it. Great. Okay, now turn your left toes forwards. Okay, let's do it again, but now we'll have the back to the wall. So now start with your left foot at the left edge of your mat and step your right leg out to the side. You can have a block for your right hand, or you can even use your leg. I'll leave it to you, okay? So have your left foot at the left edge, your right leg is out. Start with your left foot all the way to this side because we're gonna travel. That's it, yes, good. That's it. Bring your arms back into the wall. Have your palms forwards. So lean back into the wall. Just allow yourself, have the courage today to take support. Yes, and then lean back into the wall, reach first. Just repeat what we just did. Draw those legs in. Don't let your head succumb to the force of gravity. Then bring your right hand down to the leg or to your block. I'm just using this molding here. And then bring your right arm up. Yes, that's it. You can use the molding. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there you go. Good. So lean back. Can you take a longer distance between your legs, Val? Move your right thigh down. Look at that nice pose, Tammy. Does it feel okay? Move your left thigh back away from the surface. Move your left back waist into the wall. Left back waist into the wall. Turn yourself up. Yes, I don't mind. You can look straight forwards. Yes, reach up through that left arm. Those of you here, pull on the ropes a little bit and get that feeling. Yes, doesn't that feel good? Good. And now press down and then come up out of the pose. Great. Turn your toes forward and then move your body to the other side. So bring your right foot here to the edge of your mat. Take your arms out. Make sure that your left foot is under your hands. So turn your feet to the left. Turn your palms forwards. Palms forwards. That's it. Straighten your legs. Inhale and then exhale. Reach. Reach all the way over. Reach, reach, reach. That's it. Now bring your left hand down to the block or the molding or the leg, and then lift up your right arm. Yes. Straighten your legs. Nice. Draw the legs into the pelvis. Move your left thigh down. Move your right thigh back. Lift your chest upwards. Move the right back waist back towards the wall. Deepen your breath. Lean back into the wall. Have the courage to take the support of the wall. Very good, you guys. Now reach up through that right arm and come up out of the pose. Very good. Turn your left toes forwards. And then bring your arms and your legs back together. Okay, good. So we're going to do Ardha Chandrasana with the support of the wall. So I'm going to show you with 2 blocks, how it looks with 2 blocks. Those of you with this molding, just use the molding. It's fine. So those of you here, you have the luxury of the molding. So I have 1 block here, and then I have the other block forward. So watch what I do. I just come into Trikonasana, and then I just shift. I'm leaning back into the wall throughout, and I just shift forward, and I come into Ardha Chandrasana. And this block could be a little bit further forward because you want that right under the shoulder. And then I come back the same way. I come down, I bring the foot down, I keep leaning into the wall. I find that, I come back to triangle pose, and then I come up. Okay, so you can try it with 2 blocks. You guys here, you just have the luxury of that molding. It will work perfectly. Okay, good. So get ready. Have your left foot at the left edge of your mat. Use that as a reference because that's where you start and that's where you come back to, right? Have your right leg out. Those of you at home, have one block right outside your right shin and the other block all the way at the top corner of your mat. So raise your arms upwards, lean back, straighten your legs, lean back into the wall, reach all the way over, keep contact with the wall. Now bring your right hand down, Trikonasana. That's it. Now stay in touch with the wall. Bend your front knee, shift your body weight forward, bring your right hand onto the other block and go up, Ardha Chandrasana. Yes, that's it. Nice. The right hand should be right under. You can bring the block a little bit. That's it, Val. Good. Make sure that your right foot isn't turning in. Yours is a little bit, Valerie. Straighten your legs. Keep moving that right thigh back. Move your left thigh and your left heel back. Lift your chest. Lean back like you're taking a rest on that wall. Move your left abdomen back into the wall. Now the most challenging part. Bend your right knee. Bring your left foot down. Keep back into the wall. Bring your right hand back. Bring your left foot all the way back to the edge. Come back to triangle pose. Triangle pose without leaving the wall. There you go. Now press the outer left foot and come up out of the pose. Nice. Turn your right toes forward. Let's go to the other side. So just move these blocks to the other side. One block is coming right to the corner. The other block is coming about 1.5 feet away. So bring your right foot to the edge of your mat. Step your left leg out. Lean back into the wall, palms forwards. Turn your right foot in, turn your left leg out. Inhale more deeply. So yeah, that's it. So reach all the way over, reach, lean back, bring your left hand down. Trikonasana. Yes. Thighs away from the surface. Now bend your left knee, bring more weight to that left foot, reach to the block under your left hand, adjust where you need to adjust it, and then go up into Ardha Chandrasana. You got it. So push that right heel back into the wall, shift more into the ball mounds of your left foot, Tammy, just a little bit. Yes, that's it. Lift the right leg higher if you can, Valerie. Good, move your back right waist into the wall. Lean back into that wall. Lean back into the wall. Deepen your breath. Good. Now bend your left knee and keep head back into the wall. No, head back into the wall. That's it, yes. And then bring your back foot down. Move your left hand onto the first block. Bring your right foot to the edge of your mat. Come back to triangle pose. Triangle pose. Nice, David. And then press your outer right foot and come up out of the pose. Well done. Super good. So stand in Tadasana. Okay, now make sure that you're not too close to the wall. So you're in the center of your mat there. And then bring your arms out to the sides and bring your feet all the way out under your hands. Have the outer edges of your feet parallel to each other. Bring your hands to the hips. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest, and then come forwards and bring your hands down under the shoulders and lift your chest forward. Lift your chest, good. And let's just take the first stage. So keeping your hips right over your ankles, as if there were ropes at the top of your thighs. Walk your hands forward for Adho Mukha Prasarita Padottanasana. That's it. Press your hands down to keep your thighs back. You can be palms flat, or if it feels better, be on fingertips. Yeah. Good. Now, some of you stay here. Others of you walk your hands back under your shoulders. Lift your chest upwards. Inhale. And then exhale. Bend your elbows. Walk your hands back in between the feet. And then let your head come down. Yeah, you can't be all the way back at the wall because otherwise it will be, well, you can try it, but it's more challenging when your legs are sealed against the wall. So have your fingernails going the same direction as your toenails. And if your head doesn't reach the floor, try taking your legs wider and then bringing your head down to a block. Move your hands further back, both Alessandra and Tammy. That's it. Straighten your legs. Lengthen from your outer hips down to the outer feet. And lift from the inner legs up to the inner thighs. You can move that block lower, Valerie, and bend your elbows back. Yes, lift your shoulders up. Good. Now either walk your hands back under your shoulders or forward under your shoulders. That's it. And then bring your feet closer together. Bring your hands to the hips. Reach the chest forwards and up you come. Very good. Stand in Tadasana. Okay, and let's do a headstand pose. Those of you do headstand pose. You can also hang on the ropes if you want to get the hammocks, or if you know the setup, I can show you without either one. You can hang on the ropes, or you can also do the back bender if you want to, Alessandra. Otherwise, classic headstand, if that's a restorative pose for you. If headstand is not working for you, I want you to take another version. Just go back to Supta Baddha Konasana. But remember how we had the horizontal bolster for the hip opener? So you have a horizontal bolster, and then you can use 2 blankets behind the bolster. And for this one, you can use your blocks. That's fine. Just use your blocks right outside your thighs. So the bottoms of the feet are, actually, let's do Supta Spasticasana. That would be even easier. So cross your legs this way, and then you come back over this bolster, and you have your head supported by these blankets, and your arms go out to the sides in line with your shoulders. So now the bolster is sideways, your legs are crossed. So Supta Spasticasana. That's it. Otherwise, be up in headstand. Okay, have you done it before? Okay, so let's see. Give you this. And you're not on your period or anything, right? Okay, okay, so. Okay, so come here, and you're probably going to need something to stand on. So let me get you the Simhasana. So either be in headstand or be in Supta Spasticasana, just noticing your breath. So stand facing the wall. That's it. And then this stays all the way down at the top of the buttocks, like Supta, like you do for the belt. And walk your feet up the wall. Walk your feet up the wall. Walk your feet up the wall. Yeah, lean back. Definitely lean back. Bring your feet onto the wood. That's it. But now, before you go up, you have to move this down. You have to move you have to keep this here. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Now walk your feet up the wall. That should be perfect. Good. And then take your feet a little bit higher up. Spread your knees out to the sides, and then go down. And this stays supported there. That's it. Walk your feet higher up the wall, and bring your legs into Baddha Konasana.
Oh my goodness.
And then you release your arms down. And you hold your elbows around your head. Does that feel okay for you? Yes. Good. Oh, yeah. Okay, so headstanders, notice your breath in this pose. Backbenders, same thing. If you're in Supta Spasticasana, switch the cross of your legs. Make sure that especially if your bolster is thicker, that your lower back feels okay. If you have a really thick bolster, you might need a folded blanket under your pelvis. That's it. So now push your feet into the wall. Push, straighten your legs. Straighten your legs like a mountain climber.
Oh.
Yes, that's it. And then walk down, and then just rest your feet on that Simhasana box and rest your forehead against the wall.
Wow.
Yes, that's it. You're welcome. That looks great, Tammy. Roll those legs in. Okay, now headstanders, start to come down out of your pose. And those of you on the bolster, just stretch out your legs and keep your arms out to the sides. Remember, in that pose, if you ever need a blanket roll under your neck, you can always make that top blanket into a blanket roll. Okay, and then everybody come back up. And we're going to continue with our hip opening. Okay, so now have your chair near to a wall. Okay, so you have the chair. As you sit in the chair, you're about, an arm's distance, a little bit more than an arm's distance from the wall. However, once you see this, some of you will be closer. Some of you will be closer. Okay, so watch what I do. So I'm just having my sitting bones at the front edge. I take this knee and I just bring this ankle. So I'm doing the exact same shape I was doing several times on my back. If this knee is higher than your hip, like this, if you start like this, you have to take care of yourself and sit up on a bolster. You have to sit higher up on a bolster like that, so that your knee has a chance to release down. And then once you have the right height, you bring your hands onto the wall. If you're more open, you can be really far back away from the wall. You can even have your upper body all the way parallel to the floor. Okay, so you have to kind of see what you need to do. So just start with your feet flat. We're going to do the right leg first. So cross your right ankle over your left thigh near to the knee, just like we did on the back. Draw back your right toes and then make sure that your right knee is not higher than your hip. See if you can release it down, just like we were doing on the back. And if it doesn't release down, you have to sit higher. You have to sit up on some support, a blanket, a bolster, something. You have to go higher. Now bring your fingertips onto the wall, start going higher. That's it at first, that's it. And if it feels okay, then you can slide the chair further back, or you can move the chair further back so that your upper body can become parallel to the floor, but keep releasing that outer right knee down. Draw the right toes back, nice, good. It feels okay for your knee, Tammy? Great. And do you feel any stretch in your outer hips, you guys? That's it, so breathe. Direct your breath into wherever you feel it. That's it, Geraldine. And keep releasing that right knee down. Release that right knee down. Let that right knee release down. You got it. Be on your fingertips. Good. And then walk your hands down and then release. And if you slid your chair out, maybe start a little bit closer. Don't assume that it's going to be the same on the other side. Okay, so cross your left ankle over your right thigh, or you're doing the other leg that you didn't do. Good. And then just ask yourself, is my left knee a lot higher? So if it is, you might need to sit higher. You can sit higher up on something. See if you can release that left knee down, draw your left toes back, and then bring your fingertips onto the wall. And if it's feeling okay, move the chair further back so that your chest comes all the way down. And it's the same exact pose. Can you guys sense that we did on the bolster? Same exact shape. Yeah, and it's fine to bend the arms too. If you have carpeting and you just need to bend your arms, that's okay too. Yes, good. Keep releasing that left knee down, making sure that your right hip doesn't shift out to the side. Draw the abdomen back. Notice your breath in this pose. Exhale that left knee away from that left shoulder. Super good. Okay, and now release. Great. Okay, now, some of you are going to be repeating that. Otherwise, watch what I do. So now, I have my chair in front of me, and you can keep it at the wall. Once you see what I'm going to do, you kind of have to see what you need to do there at home for yourself. But I have my bolster in front of the chair. In front of the chair. And then you can have either a sticky mat on top of the chair. If you have an extra sticky mat, you can have it on top of the chair. You can use a blanket, but just be aware that it might slip. You guys, there's lots of sticky mess. There's a big pile there. Okay, so you want to have your mat, do like Valerie is. See how she's bringing the short edge of the mat to the wall for Tammy and Alessandra. And you can, if that's in your way, I don't think it'll be in your way though. That's fine, Valerie. Okay, so once you have your setup, come and watch what I do. And again, I'm going to turn at an angle. Just for those folks at home, I think it'll be more clear for those folks at home. Okay, so watch. I bring my knees, I start in this position. So the bolster's right in front of my feet, and then I bring this leg up onto the chair, and I bring this knee down, and my hands come here. For some of you, this bolster can be further back. You have to kind of see, but you shouldn't feel any stress in the hip. If you do, or in the knee, if you do, it's going to be better to do the one I showed with the chair, the one that we did before. This back foot can point. So this is Akapada, Kapotasana, right? Good, very good. So let's do that. So lean into the chair and then bring your right leg up onto the seat of the chair. The right foot is flexed, and bring your left knee down onto the bolster. Your left knee comes down onto the bolster. And then your hands can come up to the top of the chair. And some of you can move this bolster further back. You kind of have to see. Yes. And then once you have your position, your right knee should be wider than the chair seat. Bring your right knee wider than the chair seat. The right knee goes wider than the chair seat. Out. That's it. Yes, like that. Does that feel okay for your knee? If it doesn't, do the first one. Do the first one that I gave you. Bring your hands onto the top of the back of the chair and lift upwards. Point your back foot. Point that back foot. How does it feel, you guys? Is it okay? Draw the right toes back. Does it feel okay? That's it. Yeah. Point that back foot. Point the back foot. Just rest your left knee down. That's it. Lift your abdomen up. Bring your hands to the top of the back of the chair and press down to lift up. Does it feel okay, Geraldine? Yes? David, that looks amazing. That's great. Wow. Okay, good. Now slowly walk your hands down and then take your right leg off the chair. Let me show something that's kind of important. So when you bring your leg onto the chair, this knee has to go out to the side. You see how the knee is a little bit wider than the chair? So that's how it should look. It shouldn't be like this way in front of your hip, out wider than the chair. Let's do the other side. So bring your hands onto the chair and then lift your left leg up. Lift your left leg up and make sure that your left knee is a little bit wider than the chair seat to the left. That's it. And then bring your right knee down onto the bolster and get your stability. Don't assume that one side is the same as the other side. If it's possible, move your right knee further back on the bolster and then point your right foot. How does it feel, Valerie? Is it okay? Okay, good. That's good. So press your hands into the top of the chair and lift your chest upwards. Keep lifting the front rim of your pelvis up. Tailbone forward, tailbone forward, tailbone forward. You got it. These are great. Does it feel okay, Tammy? Keep releasing that left knee down. Great. Now bring your hands onto the seat of the chair and then go back. Okay, now watch Alessandra. So Alessandra, do the first pose again. I'm going to turn the camera so everyone can see Alessandra. I think you can see. That's perfect. So she does it again on that first side. Bring your knee down. So she's doing it. That's it. But then watch what she does. So she rolls the toes under and she lifts the back knee up. So now the back knee is elevated. That's it. And this inner back thigh goes here. This is so important in this pose. This inner back thigh has to go this way. The outer hip comes back and she's pressing down and lifting up. The front of the pelvis is lifting. Tailbone is coming forward. Does it feel okay, Alessandra? Great. Okay, so let's try that. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to lift up your back knee. If you're getting enough work with your back knee down, please take that variation. Okay, so get ready. So bring your hands onto the chair seat. Bring your right leg up. Make sure that your right knee comes a little bit out to the side. Comes a little bit out to the side. That's it. Bring your back knee down and maybe move your back knee back. Draw back your right toes. Draw back the right toes for today. Draw back the right toes towards the right knee. Point your left foot at first. Maybe you're staying there. Otherwise, roll the back toes under, and like you saw Alessandra do, lift up your back knee. Keep your hands, that's it, good out. That's great, Geraldine, that's good. Press your hands into the back of that chair. David, wow, amazing, isn't it? Now take your inner back left thigh to the outer back left thigh. Get that rotation. Bring your tailbone forward. Lift your abdomen upwards. Lift your side ribs upwards. Roll your shoulders back. Maybe even lift your chest a little bit. Yes, it's a warrior one chest, isn't it? That's it. And now release the back knee down and release. Is it okay, Tammy? Very good. Okay, last time, second side. So bring your left leg up, bring your right knee down. Again, don't assume that it's the same. Take your left knee a little bit out to the side. Draw back your left toes. And at first, just point your right toes and get settled. So the left hip back, lift the abdomen up. And then if you want to go further, make a conscious choice. Roll the back toes under and lift up the back knee. Lift up that back knee. Yes, that's it. Keep your back leg extending. Move the inner back right thigh to the outer back right thigh. Keep lifting the front of the pelvis up. Tailbone forward. Press your hands into the back of the chair. Roll your shoulders back. Make your chest like a pigeon, the chest of a pigeon, right? That's the name of the pose, right? Akapada Raja Kapotasana, the one-legged king pigeon pose. Nice, tailbone in. These are great. And now bring that back knee down and release. Just keep your hands on the seat of the chair and walk back into Uttanasana this way. So your feet will be right under the hips. Have your hands somewhere on the seat of the chair. Either the palms can be flat or you can hold on to the side edges of the chair seat. Take your feet at least as wide as your outer hips. That's it. Straighten your legs and deepen your breath. Good. Okay, and now release. Okay, so now some of you can stay with the chair. Others of you watch. So we're doing 3 different stages, really 4, because we did it supine as well. So watch what I do now. So now you have a blanket nearby. Some of you will have, just a regular folded blanket. Some of you have to fold the blanket thicker. Some of you might even need to use the front part of a bolster. And if you need any padding for the knees, have a blanket under the knees there. So watch, from my hands and my knees, I just bring this right leg up, just like I was bringing it onto the chair. And it goes a little bit out. And then I walk this foot back. So I'm moving back. The first action is backwards. And then I have to get my hips to be more even. And then whatever space I have to fill that space up with something. So I'm filling that space up with something. And then I can point this back foot. And at first, we're just going to stay here, moving this inner back thigh to the outer back thigh. So this back hip comes forwards. But then we're going to walk the hands forward. And you might need a block under your head. You have to see what you need. And you come forward. Don't let your body weight go this way. The body weight goes more towards the straight leg. Okay, so get ready. Come onto your hands and your knees. Remember, you can repeat with the chair if that's better. And then bring your right knee up behind your right wrist towards the right side of your mat. Your right foot should be coming in front of your left hip, in front of your left thigh. Kind of like Asana. No, bring your right shin bone flat, Geraldine, flat. Bring your right shin bone flat. That's the way, yes, good. Now, come up on your fingertips. You can always have blocks under your hands and walk backwards with your back leg. Go back with the back leg, back with the back leg. Draw your right toes towards the knee. Good. Now, once you've gone back, point your left foot and roll to your outer left thigh. Yes. And then fill up any space. There can't be any space under the right hip. So put blankets or something under that right hip. That's good. Very nice. And then lift your chest upwards and then walk your hands all the way forward and let your head come down. Your right hip has to be on the floor or on something. Yes, good. And then move the inner back left thigh to the outer back left thigh. Keep reaching the left leg back. Draw the right hip back. Yes. Can you see how this is the same pose we did on our backs, isn't it? So the same shape. Notice your breath. Draw these right toes back. How does this feel for your knee? Is it okay? Keep reaching the breastbone forward. Yeah, you can always have your head, bring your forearms onto that. See how that feels. Yes, good. These are great, David and Geraldine, beautiful. Okay, now walk your hands back and then come onto your hands and your knees. Just take a downward dog in between sides because it just feels so nice after that pose. Open up the backs of the knees fully. Sometimes that's called the dead pigeon. So the pigeon that's, moving on to another life now. Okay, so now come onto the hands and the knees. And now slide your left knee up. That's it. And it comes behind your left wrist and further out to the side. Yes, a little bit wider than your hip. Good. And draw back your left toes. Now walk your right foot back. Walk the right foot further back, go back. The first action is back. And then once you have that back action, point your right foot and slip something under that left hip. Don't come forward just yet. Be on your fingertips or blocks and lift your chest. Lift your chest. So this pose is a hip opener. It's a backward bend. It's a forward bend. So many different things, right? And then once you have your position, then you walk your hands forward. And then roll onto your outer right thigh. Outer right thigh. Inner back right thigh to the outer back right thigh. Draw back your left toes. Nice. Is it feeling okay, Valerie? Good. Exhale your breath into that outer left hip. See if you can stretch your arms forwards if that's available to you. If it is, and press your hands down and think of moving back a little bit. You'll get even more. Yes, that's it. That outer left hip moves back. Okay, and now walk your hands back and come onto your hands and your knees and then lift right into downward facing dog pose. Downward dog. Yes. Open up the backs of the knees. Downward facing dog pose. Great. Okay, now come on to the knees and then come on to your back and we'll do Shatush Padasana. Have some blocks nearby. So lie down on your back. Nothing is under your head for this pose. See if you can bend your knees and bring your feet close to your pelvis and turn your palms upwards and slip your fingertips under your heels with your thumb fingernails down. If that's not happening for you, then hold on to the outer edges of your sticky mat with your hands, okay? So either fingertips under the heels, make sure that your feet are as wide as your shoulders. Have the outer edges of your feet parallel and now lift your hips up. Press your heels into the hands, lift your hips higher and pull the backs of your knees into the hips. Can you lift those hips any higher? Alessandra, lift those hips higher. Think of opening up the back of your knee. Open up the back of the knee. Yes. Okay, and then come down. Now, if you were not getting much height of the hips, try holding onto the sides of the sticky mat. Those of you who were getting a decent height of the hips, bring your heels closer to the palms of your hands. Okay, and then turn the tops of your arms out and raise your hips up. Raise those hips up. If you have any doubt, just use the side. That's much better. That's it. Draw the backs of the knees in. Shift onto the top of your shoulders. Lift your shoulder blades into the back. Get higher. Get higher. You do better holding onto the sides of the mat, Valerie. Yes, lift your chest, lift your hips up. Hips up. Open up the front of those hips. Good. Nice, Tammy. And now come down. Okay, good. Now, put the highest, have a bolster on the foot side of your mat. Have a bolster there. And then you want to have a block. I'm going to teach it with a singular block today because that's the goal, right? So you have a singular block and the block goes this way. Once you're up, it's the tallest level and it goes lengthwise. It goes lengthwise under your tailbone. If you cannot get that, the next best thing is to try 2 blocks at that highest level. So it would be 2 blocks at the highest level. If that's not happening, then use 2 blocks going sideways this way, right next to each other, right on top of each other. Okay, so fine, but do try to go for the highest height today, and then your heels will come on top of the bolster. Okay, but don't put your heels there first. So lie down on your back, lift up your hips, and then get your block under you. If you can go for the one block, long ways under your tailbone, great. If you need two blocks, that's okay too. If you need to turn your block sideways, that's okay too. So whatever you can do, just go to your maximum. As they say in India, maximum, maximum. Okay, so now bring your feet onto the bolster. Yes, and scrub your heels forward. Roll the fronts of your thighs into the backs of the thighs. If the bolster is not enough height, then just bend your knees and start again and put some more height. You can use the seat of a chair. You can use the seat of the chair if the bolster isn't high enough. Make sure the bolster, your legs are straight. Do you need more height, Valerie? Can you straighten the legs? So turn that block down and put this other block on top. Sideways, just, and then that's it, bring them under, that's it. See if you can do that. Good. Now, some of you don't need the bolster, so you can bring your feet in front of the bolster and you can push the bolster forward. Is that okay?
Yeah, a little tight on my lower back.
Then you need more height. So use a second bolster here. Try that. Bring your heels up onto this. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, good. Keep your tailbone coming in. Turn your palms upwards. Yes. Scrub your heels forward. Press the fronts of your thighs into the backs of the thighs. See if you can straighten the legs. Notice your breath in this pose. This is the pose that Guruji calls a boon to humanity. If it feels too much, Val, just bring your legs down. You're kind of crooked. So this is straight there. Does that feel different, Tammy? That's straight. No, that's straight. That's straight. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Good. Now bend your knees and lift up your hips and take that block out from under your hips. Good. And then let your lower back come down and rest. Now we're going to do legs up the wall, Vipariti Karini. Those of you here, I want you to work with two bolsters. So watch what I have here. So you can just bring the long edge of your mat to the wall. And I know most of you at home don't have two bolsters. So what you can do is you can put a bolster and then a folded blanket on top. Okay, a bolster and a folded blanket on top of that. And if you just have one bolster, do have a little bit of space between the wall and the bolster. However, those of you here, try to use two bolsters. And if you have two bolsters, you can bring them all the way to the wall, because this resembles more of a Setu Bandha bench. You know, the bolsters will be all the way against the wall. But I want everybody to also have a tri-folded blanket this way. So you open up a blanket one size larger than shoulder stand, and you make it into a tri-fold. So it's nice and long, and that comes here. Okay, and I'm going to show you how you somersault into the pose. If somersaulting is not good for you, then you come in the regular way. You know, you just kind of get your hips onto the bolster, and then you come in this way. Okay, so that's one way to come in. But I'm going to show somersaulting in for those of you who would like to try it. Okay, and if you have any doubt, don't do the somersault. So I bring my hands in front of the bolster, and I just, like I'm doing laps in a pool, I just come and you go, and my hips are all the way at the wall, so it's kind of nice. And I bring my arms out to the side, and my spine and my head are on that bolster. Okay, so let's try that. Get ready. That's it, go in. And then, yeah, bring your hips to the wall and then slide down. You got it, Tammy, that's great. Yes, good. Yes, that's okay. So let's move that out of the way, because that'll get in your way there, Valerie, the hammock. If you have two different types of bolster, put the blue one under the orange one, because it will be more stable. And I would just come in, If you're not used to somersaulting, just come in sideways. Just come in sideways, yeah, like you normally do. And then you can always use the ropes to pull in. Alessandra and Tammy, that looks great. How does it feel with 2 bolsters? Isn't it nice? And you get the feeling of the pose affects your chest a little bit more, doesn't it, than 1 bolster? It really lifts your chest, doesn't it? Gives you a nice lifted chest. That's perfect, Valerie, you've got it. So use your ropes and pull your hips closer in. Good. And then relax your legs, relax your hips. Bring your arms to your sides. Take off any glasses. Connect your body and your mind to your breath. Notice your breath in this pose. Notice the difference between having 1 bolster and 2 bolster, or a little bit more height. You just have a bolster and a folded blanket, which is fine. Good. Now bend your knees and cross your legs in Spasticasana. And let your feet come down towards your pelvis and allow your knees to go to the wall, like we did in all of those hip opening poses, right? Yes. Feet towards the pelvis, knees towards the wall, inner thighs are lengthening. And it should feel restful. If it doesn't, just keep your legs straight. And now push your feet gently into the wall and then slowly slide back until your hips come in front of the bolster. Your hips will come in front of the bolsters. And then take the top bolster off. Take the top bolster off and cross your legs the other way on that top bolster. Cross your legs the opposite way than you did at the wall. That's it. If you need another blanket under your head and your neck, make sure to take that. Just bring your arms out to the side. This is a cross-legged Savasana. So relax your legs into that bolster. Release them. Lengthen the back of your neck. Soften your abdomen. Make sure your arms and your legs are both relaxing. They've done their work. They fulfilled their dharma. Now bring your hands onto your body and begin to deepen your breath. And then roll to your side into a fetal position. Have a good exhalation there. And then come up with your head last. And you can sit up on the bolster or not. I'll leave that to you. Any position is good. Have your palms upwards. So remember, this is the beginning of your practice for today. Always when you're practicing, it's the beginning, it's the opening of your practice for the day. The practice is being present. That's the practice of yoga. And bringing your attention to that inner stillness. Understand yourself as inner stillness. Receive the information you need for your life from that inner stillness. Now bring your hands to your heart center, raise your chest upwards, and bow your head downwards. Namaste. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you so very much. Thank you, everybody.